Those who have what is their own and covet not what others have and live according to God's law always have plenty of everything they need. One day some children found in a ravine a things shaped like a grain of corn which grew down the middle but as large as a hen's egg. A traveler passing by saw the things, brought it from the children for a penny, and taking it to town sold it to the king as a curiosity. The king called together his wise men and told him to find out what the things was. The wise man pondered and pondered and could not make head or tail of it till one day when the things were laying on a window sill, a hen flew in and picked at it till she made a hole in it. Then everyone saw that is a grain of corn. The wise man went to the king and said, "It is a grain of corn." At this, the king was much surprised and he ordered the lion man to find out when and where such corn had grown. The lion man pondered again and searched in their books but could not nothing about it. So they returned to the king and said, "When we can grow you, we can give you no answer. There is nothing about it in our books. You will have to ask the peasant. Perhaps some of them they have had from their father when and where gain grew to such a size." So the king gave order, and some very old peasant should be brought before him, and his servant found such a man and brought him to the king, old and went shy, pale, and toothless. He just managed, with the help of two crutches, to totter into the king's presence. The king saw him, and again, but the old man could hardly see it. He took it, however, and felt it with his hands. The king orders him, saying, "Can you tell us, old man, where such grain as this grew? Have you ever brought such corn or sown such in your field?" The old man was so deaf and that he could hardly hear what the king said, and only understood with great difficulty. "No," he answered, at least I never sowed nor reaped any like it in my field, or nor did I ever buy any such when we wrought corn. The grains were always as small as they are now. But you might ask my father, he may have heard where such grain grew." So the king sent for the old man's father. See, he was found and brought before the king. He came walking with one crutch. The king showed him and the grain, and the old peasant, who was still able to see, took a good look at. And the king asked him, can you not tell us, old man, where corn like this used to grow? Have you ever brought any like it or sown any in your field?" The old man was rather hard of hearing. He still heard better than his son had done. "No," he said, "I never sowed or nor reaped any grain like this in my fields. As to wine, I never brought any forth. In my time, money was not at in use. Everyone grew his own corn, and when there was any need, we shared with one another. I don't know where corn like this grew, or was larger and yielded more flour than present day grain, but I never saw any like this. I have, however, heard my father say that in this time the grain grew large and yielded more flour than you had better ask him." So the king sent for this old man's father, and they found him too and brought him before the king. He entered walking easily and without catches. His eyes was clear, he had good, and he spoke distinctly. The king showed him and the grand and to old grandfather looked at and turned it about in his hand. It's long since I saw such a fine grain, said he, and he with a piece of and tasted. It is a very same kind, he added. That tell me, grandfather, said the king, when and where was such corn grown? Have you ever brought any like it or sown any in your field? And the old man replied, corn like this used to grow everywhere in my time. I lived on corn like this in my young day and fed other on it. It was grain like this that we used to sow and reap and thresh. And the kings asked, tell me, grandfather, did you buy it anywhere or did you grow it all yourself? The old man smiled. In my time, he answered, no one ever thought of such as question as buying or selling bread, and we knew nothing of money. Each man had corn enough of his own. Tell me, grandfather, asked the king, sir, where was your field? Where did you grow corn like this? The grandfather answered, my field was God's earth. Wherever I poured, there was my field. Land was free. It was a thing no man called his own. Labor was the only things men called their own. Answer me two more questions, said the question. The first answer, why did the earth wear such grain then, and he ceased to do so now? And the second is, why your grandson walked with two kids, your son with one, and you yourself with none? Your eyes are bright, your teeth and sound, and your speech clear, patient to clear. Speech clear and patient to the and patient to the ear. How have these things come about? And the old man answered, these things are so because men have ceased to live by own but because men cease to live by their own labor and have taken to depending on the labor of other. In the old time, men lived according to God's law. They had what was their own and coveted not what other have produced. They had what was their own and coveted not what other had produced.